Welcome to Hoodies the podcast. We go deep with the blast.
Word. So is that what it is? That's what it is. Everybody's bro. Everybody's bro. Even your lady. Your lady's bro. Ladies, your dude is bro. Like your man is your bro. I be seeing like two, you know what I mean? I be seeing two women do that. Bro. Times have changed, huh? So I guess everybody's bro. Word. Listen, man. Dear black folk, stay strapped. Pay attention to your surroundings. Don't be a soft target. My condolences to the families of the black folk that were slain in Buffalo. My condolences to the families of all the victims who found themselves on the bad end of a cracker's barrel. Strap up and train. One hand, two hands. Get nice. And be prepared. This is not the first mass shooting of black folk, and it ain't the last. Pearl Young, Ruth Whitfield, Geraldine Talley, Aaron Salter, Hayward Patterson, Margus Morrison, Catherine Massey, Roberta Drury, Celestine Cheney, Andre McNeil. Rest in peace. Have you ever known someone or know someone currently who makes it a thing to make things harder than what it has to be? For example, true story. Single mother comes in the shop. She comes in the skill. After fucking her son's haircut up. She decided to go to YouTube. She watched the video and then she cut her son's hair. Then she topped it off with a design in his head. The dope scribble. Y'all know the dope scribble. It'd be a little dope scribble. Well, she tried to emulate the dope scribble. And needless to say, she didn't do a very good job. Well, she fucked Young'un's head up. And to top it all off, right? To top it all off, she did it just hours before his prom. She comes in, she asks me, what can you do to fix this? I said, there's nothing you can do. The design that she tried to do, it looked like she did it with a butter knife, meaning the lines were extremely thick, and it took up a decent amount of her son's head. I said, you could cut it down lower, you know what I mean, but you really can't do anything, you know, to cut out the design unless you cut him bald. He's gonna have to grow that out. He's gonna have to grow that out, sis. She wasn't pleased with that. She suggested that his hair be cut this way or that way. She suggested a fade. I said, ma'am, sure, you can do whatever haircut you want. However, it's not going to get rid of that design. Okay, she had a hard time accepting that. She had a hard time accepting the fact that there wasn't really much we could do to fix this young man's head. Right? So then she got really frustrated with me, and then she hit me with the plight of a single mother. Look, I'm just a single mother trying to raise my son the best I can. And he don't have his father around, I gotta carry the load. It gets hard, you know. Sorry I can't be perfect and all. And I thought, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Look, listen, I get it. I get it if, you know, this was a behavior thing. The son was being combative, rebellious, unruly, a little Billy Badass. You know what I mean? And you're at your wits' end trying to get through to him. You know what I'm saying? You tried mentors and such, programs. You just can't reach him. You know what I mean? You can't teach him how to be a man. And of course you can't, because you're a woman. You're not experienced to being a man. So how can you teach him something you don't know? I get it. I ain't lost on me. I was a rebellious fuck bag. An out of control fuck bag. I was extremely disrespectful to my mother. I was wild. But this ain't that. This is not that. This is a haircut. You could have took him to a barbershop and left it to the pros. Why you want to do that anyway? You know, cut your son's hair. Why? On your son's prom night. Why get creative on the night of his prom? This isn't a single mother doing that. Yo, she wouldn't have done her daughter like that if she has one. There were no other kids with them or whatever. She wouldn't have done her daughter like that. Like knit a dress just hours before the prom, or, you know, put some Dark and Lovely in her hair. You know what I mean? Before prom. Nah, she would have took her daughter to a stylist and made sure that her daughter was on her square for this prom. But you want to put downtown Chicago in your son's head. And the edge up was mad wide. And the temp fade was too high. And look, each suggestion that she gave and that I gave in terms of maybe cutting it lower, maybe cutting it high, little dude was just like no to everything. When you young and you're a teenager, man, your hair is very important. Your style and your clothes and your shoes, and, you know, being a part of the crowd or whatever is extremely important to a lot of teenagers. You know, it's either extremely important for you to be a part of the crowd, or it's extremely important for you to set yourself apart from the crowd. But either way, it's important to a young guy. So image is very important. So if she if she didn't go to another barbershop and maybe they could do something, that young man is gonna carry a little bit of anger for a hot little minute. Okay, this is his prom. And I'm really, 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 really hoping that it wasn't a case of, oh shit, fuck that, I don't need no man. Fuck that, I don't need no. And speaking of man, right? Where is her man, I wonder? You know what I mean? Okay. This isn't what y'all think it is. Okay, you know, she may not need a man. Well, yeah, she does. In this case, she does need a man. But let's say maybe she ain't got a man. Meaning she ain't got no one committed cat. Maybe she got somebody that might be popping it. If not, nobody. Okay, if not, how about a male co-worker? Like, hey Charles, you know a good barber? Can you take my son to your barber and get him right? You know what I'm saying? This isn't a behavioral thing to where, you know, this ain't that. She could have just took her son. She could have just took the young god to get a haircut in the first place. If he's going to prom, they not broke. Broke people don't go to prom. You gotta get tux, shoes, the whole nine. It ain't rocket science. I said all that to say, it ain't rocket science. And you know, this reminds me a lot of, you know, the black plight, or the plight of the collective, right? On one end, this ain't new news. Y'all have heard me say this before. On one end, you know, we're last in line. That ain't no secret. You know, when it comes to ownership, resources, and thus wealth. But instead of working together like other people do, the Korean, the Mexican, the Jew, the Caucasian, sure, they bicker amongst each other, but they join up to handle business when it's needed. Okay, we get off on joining with the other side for some weird reason. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not that, it's the diaspora war. You know what I'm saying? It's black Americans that swear up and down that we ain't connected to Native Africans. We'll see and hear of tragedies popping off on the continent and not see us. And then on the flip side, there's Nigerians and folk from the Congo and Ghana and other parts of the continent who look at YouTube and use some racket bullshit as a proxy for all of us. We all do the same. We all do this. Even our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? Some Jamaicans look at us like we ain't worthy to fuck with Robert Nesta Marley. Better known as Bob Marley, of course. True story, I had this Jamaican dude, I may have told this before, I had this Jamaican cat come in the barbershop. He came in the shop before, he sat in my apprentice's chair. Right? And for some reason, he's got his own personal music playing from his phone. Of course, it's some Jamaican music. Right? Not dancehall, but the old school Jamaican music. Right? So he started going on and on about Marcus Garvey this and Marcus Garvey that. Almost like, you know, how they, Jamaicans, got Marcus Garvey. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. It's almost like he was saying it almost as if he's trying to compare black leaders or something. You know what I'm saying? I shut that shit down with the quicks, man. I shut it down with the quicks. Yeah, we all know about, and then mind you, Marcus Garvey's on my wall. Anyway, we all know about Marcus Garvey. You know what I mean? I spit that shit and told him, listen, man, because he still had his phone on playing the Jamaican music. I said, listen, if that's not a ringtone, I'm going to need you to please turn that off, because that's rude. We ain't about to have this West Indian versus Black American bullshit up in here. We ain't about to do that. We ain't doing that. And he chilled on that shit. True story. That shit ain't happening on my watch. Not in my place of business. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't all connected. It ain't rocket science. Like we ain't all got the same enemies. It's not rocket science. All of us do. Like, what makes them so much better than us? What makes us so much better than them? When we all losing against the same enemy. It's almost like people realize it. It's almost like we refuse to believe that we could do so much better together. It ain't rocket science. Look at what everybody else is doing, and it's working for them. It ain't rocket science. We bicker with each other. Y'all ain't this, y'all ain't that. You know what's not rocket science, I noticed? The tools in which the establishment or just white people use. And there's a difference between the two. Right? But both of them use the same easy tool. And that tool is the word nigga. Not nigga, but nigger. We still get bent out of shape in 2022. We'll risk everything after being called a nigga. And again, it ain't rocket science. It's designed to trigger. It's designed to trigger. Right? That's not rocket science, but then it becomes rocket science again because while in my heart, while in my heart, I believe that from time to time, everybody needs to be punched in the fucking mouth. I also believe that from time to time, women need to be smacked in the mouth from time to time. So I guess the happy medium is where the rocket science is at. Okay? Like the alternative to not getting worked up. You know what I mean? Like, I guess what I'm saying is Here's what's rocket science. Is it really worth beating ass for being called a nigga? Like, is it really worth it? Don't lose your job if you need it by beating ass at work. Maybe in the parking lot or something between some cars if you gotta do it. But is it worth it? I mean, because think about it. Say white dude, and if you're a woman, say some white broad, or, whatever. Somebody call you nigga. Okay, sure, you bloodied them up. You bloodied her up. You didn't defeat white supremacy or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I noticed that we as a people, we spend a whole lot of time fighting, getting worked up about getting respect and being respected. I'm one of them. You know what I mean? A lot of people will catch a case over tone. You know what I mean? Like tone that was used when somebody said some funky shit to you in a funky tone. You know what I'm saying? We get all up in people's faces over tone and being called a nigga. You think calling a white person cracker pisses off white people? If I had to guess, I would say no. Because in all my years, and I've been around a hot minute, in all my years, I ain't never heard of a white dude feeling some type of way because somebody called him a cracker. I've never seen it. Never even heard of it. You know what I'm saying? The history's different. I get it. But rocket science, if not getting worked up is the move, not arguing, not getting emotional, and not beating ass, what do we do in its place? What do we do in its place? What's a good alternative? Just walk away? I mean, hey, we could like go to the Chinese stores, right? Get some chopsticks. Break them apart because they come together in that little long paper thing. Take them all out, bunch of them all out the paper. Lay them on the table. Pull them all apart, right? And then take each of them and break them all in half. And then get a really, really sharp knife and file and sharpen them all down with sharp, pointy tips. And do like the old Bruce Lee movies. You know what I mean? No shells. No way of tracing where it came from. Dip them in some poison. Man. What would be a good alternative? I'm bugging. Just walk away? Just walk away? And let's think about it. It's safe. I mean, it's triggering. Fucking nigger. Go swing from some trees, boy. And just walk off. I mean, because if you don't, a fight will happen. Forget about it. A fight's gonna happen. You could call the law. But what would that do? Because being called a nigga is not against the law. It's not against the law. I think it's considered to be like oral defamation. You know what I mean? Oral defamation. So they could still be yelling, fucking jungle bunny. You fucking jungle bunny. Why don't you and your nigger bitch go make some jungle love? I mean, it's frowned upon in the workplace, but shit, you still got to go through the motions and go through a process to file a complaint if somebody calls you nigga in the workplace. You know what I'm saying? What's a good alternative? Just walk away. And be clear. Be clear, though. I said this before. Being called a nigga, that's not racist. Sure, you're being called that because of your skin color, but being called a nigger is really just prejudice. It's just overt prejudice. Racism is prejudice plus power. Like, okay, not only do I think you're a nigger, which according to those who use it in that way, they see you as being inferior and this, that, and all the other shit that comes with it. Right? But racism is when, okay, not only do I see you as a nigga, not only do I see you as being inferior to me, okay, but now I'm gonna fuck you over getting a fair shake in court. Okay, racism is when, say, the judge gives you twice the amount of time that he gives someone non-black. That's racism, because that's prejudice plus power. Now I'm gonna shit on you because of your ethnic background, because of your skin color. Now I'm gonna do more than just call you a nigger. Now I'm gonna put some power behind it. That's racism. It's a big difference between the two. Somebody calls you a nigger, what will it do? Besides piss you off for a few hours. Depending on how sensitive you are, maybe you'll be pissed for maybe a day, maybe two, I don't know. But that's about it. It's not gonna stop you from getting no loan. Nigga, being called nigga alone is not gonna stop you from getting a loan or this, that, and the third. Okay? It does make you wonder, though, with all the other things in place, with all that said, does make you wonder, why do we get so bent out of shape over the basics? Why we ain't getting pissed off about redlining? Right? How about cornering the hair market? I mean, if that's possible. Asians got that shit on lock. We copping black hair from, well, it ain't black hair. That's Malaysian hair, or Brazilian. I don't know. It's not black people hair, but black people use these products. Black women in particular. Right? Yeah. Bronner Brothers is still in business, and I think there's one other, but Bronner Brothers, from what I believe, last time I checked, it's been a minute. Bronner Brothers is still all black owned. It's got products. It's cornering I believe they're based in Atlanta. It's cornering, some form of the market. Well, I guess we are making some strides. We got snacks. Rap Snacks. Master P got noodles. Master P, he also got sneakers. They ain't the prettiest sneakers in the world, but none of them are, right? We got soft drinks. I forget the soft drinks, the name of them. There's black-owned sneakers, clothing, vegan shops, land with Brother Ben X, and so on and so forth. We still don't have a school or a museum, right? But hopefully with all the donations that we've all sent to the parties involved, we'll produce some shit. That's no shade or nothing. I'm just kind of ready to see some things happen. That's all. And also with that said, about the difference between being called a nigga and what real racism is, why are we not showing Ice Cube more love for having created a contract with Black America? Right? That brother was met with more opposition than anything else when he proposed that. You know what I mean? The contract with Black America is a contract concocted by Ice Cube and some scholars and such that he, has respect for. Okay, the contract with this contract with Black America, what it did was, or what it was designed to do, is strike at the heart of racism and present a blueprint to achieve racial economic justice. Some fucking tangibles. Okay, so Ice Cube, when he did this, he caught a lot of flack from the black community, black celebrities alike. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of flack because he went to talk to like the, when Trump was running for re-election and this, that, and the third. He went to go talk to them too. And of course, for whatever reasons, black folk are predominantly Democrat, as far as I know. There's a few Republicans that I know, but predominantly Democrat. We swear up and down that one is better than the other, when it's really just two wings on the same bird. So Ice Cube caught flack for having gone to talk to Donald Trump's re-election team in regards to the contract with Black America. He got flack for that. Right? Showed it to Biden and them too, but I believe that basically they probably just told him to fuck off. Told him to wait till after the election or whatever. Then, after that, or should I say along with that, black women swore up and down that the contract didn't include them. You know what I'm saying? When it's in the fucking title. The contract with Black America. Black America doesn't include black women. And Brother Ice Cube was also open for suggestions for everyone. Like, present a good suggestion, then he would include that in the contract. And he was met with serious pushback. He was met with serious pushback from the very people that it was designed to look out for. You know who spearheaded that whole school of thought? Yep. Vivica Fox. Vivica Fox. And I will not speak ill of her. I'm not. Enough is already being said in regards to Kevin Samuels' death and what she said and whatever. Hey, everybody's entitled to feel how they want to feel. But I will say this. Some folk just won't get it. And listen. It's even more proof positive that we all seriously need some fucking therapy. Because we ain't got no friends for real. Amongst our own kind either. Sidebar real quick. It's a rocket science sidebar. And I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna leave it alone. Ladies, yeah, I'm on that again. If you know so much and Kevin Samuels knows so little, if you were so right and Kevin Samuels was so wrong, then why don't you, being 35 and up, okay, multiple children, overweight, why don't you have a high value man? If you were 10 like you told him and like you tell yourself, why aren't high value men tripping over themselves to cuff you? Some of you women are in your 40s, attractive, decent body, no kids, got your bag. Why aren't high value men trying to cuff you? You were 10. Body still banging, you pretty. You can say that there aren't any good men, but we know that's not true. How come those 6-figure and better men ain't coming for you? You can say, oh, I don't go out. Well, why don't you? If that's what it is. I choose to be alone. What woman who can get any man she wants chooses to be alone? You know what I mean? Like I said, some of you women are beautiful and you travel for work or got the type of gig that requires you to be in the presence of men. And for the record, women brag about their bag just like men do. They brag about the money they got too, the bag and the trinkets just like men do. Shit, bitch, look at my bank account. What my bank account say? And men are intimidated by an independent woman. That's not true. Men are annoyed. I'm independent, and baby, I don't need you. Fucking annoying. And some women do that, and get looked at as being accomplished and successful. You know what I mean? Traveling here and there. You can tell. My thing is, if you knew, if you know rather more than Kevin Samuels and what he had to say, then why don't you have the high value man? Why isn't it working out? And then you say these things, and then again, like I said, you looked at as being accomplished and successful. But when men do it, we're insecure. You know what I mean? That's the double standard. And I suppose there are some. You know what I mean? But still doesn't change the fact that you got niggas in your DMs, but ain't cuffed you. If you got it all figured out, the fuck is the deal? Make it do what it do. It ain't rocket science. End of sidebar. Before I get out of here, right? I just want to get my uncle on, right? Youngins, it's your uncle. Nieces and nephews, it's your uncle. Youngins, right? You are not a square for not doing weed and drugs. You are not a square. Stop talking with your head down. Stop feeling inadequate because you don't indulge in all the shit that everybody else does. Those are the squares. Bum asses. Cracked under pressure. Don't even have the balls to say, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Trust me, youngin', you ain't missing nothing. Me, I was a late bloomer. I ain't start smoking till after I graduated high school. You know? I mean, well, I guess I did smoke cigarettes too at one point. Used to be a time when you couldn't catch me without Newports on me. But then I quit. Cold turkey. Nasty habit. Anyway, like I said, I ain't start smoking weed till after high school. I may have had a brew once or twice before that. I think the first brew I ever had, my uncle gave it to me. You know what I mean? Like, here, don't let your mom see that. Go ahead, don't let your mom see that. You know what I mean? Felt kind of honored. Man, my uncle gave me a beer. I felt so mature. You know what I mean? And then the other one was at like a house party or whatever in high school. It was just a brew, something light, no buzz, no nothing. Once I got in the Navy, that changed. You know what I mean? The older I got, I realized that sometimes drinking, it can end up becoming something that you'll fall back on for comfort. You know what I mean? From, I don't know, maybe lingering traumas from childhood or whatever. It's the same thing with drugs. Never been addicted to drugs. I was a drinker. You know, not saying I'm totally dry now. I'm more of a wine sipper now, but you know, I was stupid and yeah, I was stupid. I drank a lot. You know, got a DUI to show for it. I did my time, if you will, you know, being an unlicensed driver and all that shit. I went through all of that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Another thing I would tell you youngins is that never fight over no girl. Never fight over another girl. I mean, beat ass if a man assaults a woman. You know what I'm saying? But don't fight over no broad. You know what I mean? Especially if that broad has made up her mind to rock with another dude. It's not worth the inconvenience. You know what I mean? It's okay to have standards. It's okay. You ain't got to fuck every broad that thinks you look good. You know what I'm saying? You know a crazy broad when you see her. You know what I mean? But you fuck her anyway because she stroked your ego. You know what I mean? I know what I'm talking about, man. You know what I mean? Listen, that's part of the reason, you know, why a lot of dudes cheat on their pretty ass wife for a broad that ain't pretty, that is. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just somebody a man can talk to. You know what I mean? And she knows how to cater to a man's ego and don't want nothing from him. You know what I mean? Not saying it's right or wrong. It's just what it is. nephew, niece, youngin'. It's just what it is. Listen to your uncle. Ladies, the next time you say, he cheated on me for that, she looked like Miss Piggy. Ugh, she looked like a booger wolf. Or my favorite, you went from sugar to shit. Well, I mean, listen, if my lady fucked around with some LL Cool J looking nigga, some Michael B. Jordan looking dude, pretty boy type dude, boom. No brainer, I get it. She's with him because he's attractive. He works out the whole nine. But if I see her with a dude that ain't so attractive, overweight or this, that, and the third, that's when I'm gonna really start thinking like, yo, I must be really lacking somewhere. You know what I mean? Anyway, take that into consideration. Anyway, youngins. Still talking to y'all, it's your uncle. If you haven't already, there's no future in being a simp. This is not a new message that I've been putting out lately. Because, listen, being a simp, trust me, it bleeds over into other parts of your life. Okay, if you're a business owner with employees, you'll fuck around and not say what needs to be said to maintain the atmosphere. Your staff will walk all over you if you don't assert yourself. If you're a part of the staff, your co-workers will push you around. You know what I'm saying? You'll continuously get passed over for a promotion if you don't assert yourself. Shit, being a simp, how your lady talking to you like you was one of her kids if you don't assert yourself. Niggas that have no problem using you as the butt of a joke because you a simp. Raise your voice a little bit. Put some bass in it. Tell them niggas no. Tell them bitches no. Pussy is everywhere. It ain't going nowhere no time soon. So with that said, set some standards. Yeah. Set some standards. Work on your career. You know what I mean? Figure out what it is you want to do and work on a career. And put your purpose first. That's some sound advice right there. Because nobody told me anything in regards to women. It was more like, it was always along the lines of, just happy wife, happy life. Complied with what the woman wanted. I was never told how to stand on my square with women. Other than happy wife, happy life, which I've never liked. I remember a time in my first marriage, she and I was having a disagreement. We was in Chicago visiting some family, and we was staying at my grandpa Ivory's crib, my paternal grandfather. That morning, when we was in town, I wanted to take my mom's out to eat, probably for brunch or something, right? And she didn't want to go all of a sudden. It was part of the plan. She didn't want to go all of a sudden. So I figured, cool, you stay here. I'll come back. You know what I mean? I'm going to go kick it with my mama, right? Go kick it with moms. So she's like, as I'm walking downstairs, she's like, so you just going to leave me? As I walk down the stairs. And my grandpop, he heard her. And, I was named after my pop, so my family, well, this was before my name change anyway. So what I was getting ready to say don't even matter. So my grandpop is like, Junior, you can't just leave us stranded, Junior. And I explained that I wasn't, that we had plans and she was just being difficult. He was like, you said you was gonna leave her. I heard her. They ain't even hear what we was talking about. He only heard what she said on the stairs. Now, may my granddaddy, may he rest well. May he rest well. But I remember thinking, I would have never done that to my grandson. I would have never done that. You know what I'm saying? And my granddaddy, he was a bit of a philanderer. You know, they're from Lemon, and he wasn't shy about it either. Matter of fact, everybody knew it. So I don't know, I guess I was just kind of surprised that he was so easy to manipulate like that. You know what I mean? I would have never done that to my grandson. I wouldn't have got in it. I wouldn't have said shit. I don't know, it's just, at my age, I don't get in young folks, even my son and them, I don't get in their business. Nah, man, I treat my kids, I say it all the time, I treat my kids' personal life like a room, and I don't go in that room unless I'm invited. Because I know what it's like to be a young adult, especially a young adult, and y'all got a kid. You young, you still learning how to effectively communicate. Y'all still got your emotions, y'all young, 20-something youngsters. Man, listen, unless you call me and say, hey, Pop, you got a minute? Let's talk, man. I'm going through such and such. That would be the equivalent of allowing me in the room. That's what I mean when I say I don't go in that room unless I'm invited. And an invite into that room is, hey, Pop, you busy? Man, I want to talk. I'm going through something right now. And then boom, you tell me about what's going on. Now you're calling me, for advice or just to vent and just to know that you ain't crazy. Then I'll go in that room. Then I'll go in it. Other than that, I mind my business. So my granddad said that, and it was out in the open, like he didn't even get it. And he was, may he rest well, but I would have never done that to my grandson. There was this other time when I confided in my old man, right? I was perplexed on how to deal with telling my woman at the time that her vagina had a smell. I ain't say who. I would never do that anyway. But it had a smell to it. Right? And his response was, I don't know, something must be wrong with you. I ain't care what that thing smell like. I ain't care if a woman had a smell or not. Right? But then offered his solution, and his solution, for the most part, was to get down there and clean it myself. He said, just grab a rag and, hey, babe, I want to make it even cleaner. And then, it was crazy. Some more stuff happened. He ended up telling her himself, caused more problems, but that's a story I get into another time. I ain't trying to, get into that. But I did learn something, though, from that. You know what I mean? I did learn something. That the one person that I should have told that to, about the smell, was the woman I was with. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no easy way to say something like that. And I also learned to keep family out your business. Keep family out your business. You know what I'm saying? Something must be wrong with you. You know what I mean? And again, I thought to myself, I would have never done that to my son. I would have never said that to my son. I would have never done that. Well, I wouldn't be on the phone with my son's woman anyway. For what? That shit is weird. To me, I don't get why. I don't want to. I'll talk to you when y'all come to town, or when I come to town over dinner, breakfast, or brunch, or something, or sit in the living room just chopping it up, or in the car while we drive somewhere. We can talk and ask questions then. I don't see the point in sitting on the phone and all that. It's just not my style. It's just not me. But again, I would have never done that to my son. If my son ever called me about something like that, listen, I would just tell him what I learned. I'll say, look, son, just tell her, son. Just tell her. Be cool about it. No doubt, be cool, but tell her. Let's be honest with her. Be a man. Stand on your square and tell her. There's no easy way to say something like that. Just tell her. You know? And listen, if she offended and she feels some way and that don't work, then fuck her. That's what I would tell her. Tell him. Or any of my sons. And another thing before I get out of here. Another thing for you youngins. Be careful from whom you seek counsel. Most of these folk are just blowing smoke. Okay? Not every old person is wise. So think for yourself. It ain't rocket science. I'm the guard Rashidi. This is Hoodies. Hey.
I don't even know what a lane is.
Bro, ain't nobody calling.
She don't box neither.
Bro, ain't nobody calling motherfucking phone.
Welcome to Hoodies the podcast. We go deep with the
Bro, ain't
blast.
nobody calling